Our one Fabrizio Romano is going to hit to confirm serious Felix to Arsenal talks. And obviously, he's going to hit to let us know how special Mudryk signing will be if at all he makes it to Arsenal. And obviously, Mykhailo has come out and commended his his central defensive partnership of William Saliba and Gabriel is here onto the Rokani Media Football. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Rokani Media Football. Happy Boxing Day. Premier League resumes today. And obviously, Spurs is kickstarting it off with Aston Villa. Not so. Aston Villa is playing Liverpool, right? But Spurs is starting it off with a certain team today in the Premier League. Then Arsenal is going to close the day as they take on West Ham, a huge one. Liverpool is the second last game of the night as they play away at Aston Villa. There is Newcastle playing, there is Everton. So let's wait and see how everything is going to go on and pan out in here onto the Rokani Media Football. As you know, we are going to be bringing you the latest information as far as your superstars are really concerned. Now, as things stand, Arsenal is really so much huge into the transfer because they are looking for a wide attacking midfielder and a centre forward and maybe a midfielder to see to it that they strengthen their team to come out all strong to compete for the Premier League trophy because they are 5 points ahead of Man City. And there is something that I never included into my match preview of Arsenal versus Everton, and it was Mykhailo was a student of David Moyes at Everton, and he was the captain of Everton for very many years, and that's where Arsenal bought him from. So teacher is going to meet a student. That's it. Then later, you have to know that when Arsenal wins today, it's really going to be great for them because Man City is playing later on Thursday. So a lot of pressure, is it Thursday or Wednesday? A lot of pressure is going to be immersed on a team called Man City if at all Arsenal win today because they will be 8 points clear of Man City. So the win is highly called for in this game of football that Arsenal is going to play. So let's go into these stories as told to us by Marca, Jacobs Ben and Fabrizio Romano as far as Joao Felix to Arsenal are concerned. Now, Fabrizio Romano via Give Me Sport, Arsenal are in serious talks with Atletico Madrid over signing Joao Felix on loan, including a fee in the deal. Talks ongoing between both clubs. Manchester United is also in the race, but no advanced talks as things stand. So, Fabrizio is telling us that Arsenal are in serious talks, not just mere talks. These are serious talks with Atletico Madrid over signing Joao Felix on and on, including a fee in the deal. Now, yesterday I was really waiting for such a story coming in from Fabrizio Romano to confirm what Duncan Castles came out and told us about this. They remember Duncan Castles, I think last week, was it on Friday or Saturday, he came out and confirmed to us that Atletico Madrid want £8 million as a loan fee, then with an obligation of a team to pay Joao Felix's weekly salary of £250,000 a week, but with no option to buy, meaning that they are willing to loan the player, go on and play 6 months, then returns to the club, such that they put him into the shop window. And they know that if at all he goes to either Manchester United or Arsenal, he might hit the ground running, and if at all he really gets back to the levels they bought him at from Benfica, then they will go on and call in for the amount of money that is ridiculous according to what the media is telling us. But serious talks are being held between Arsenal and Atletico Madrid over the player. So that shows that it's really great and going on the best level of Arsenal and Atletico Madrid. Joao Felix is really a very good player, and I repeat this every time I do a story of Joao Felix, that Joao Felix is more beneficial to the season of Arsenal than Mykhailo Mudryk, because Mykhailo Mudryk is really great and talented, but they can fast gate in Felix because Felix obviously fixes the problem that they are having at the club. The problem they're having at the club is their talisman, who has been involved in 11 goals this season, creating 6 and scoring 5. That is Gabriel Jesus, got an injury at the World Cup. That's how costly the World Cup came in on the side of Arsenal. Now, the right replacement or the right signing right now should be immediate. Obviously, that is Joao Felix. And the good thing is that these two deals can be done at the same time. Joao Felix, £80 million loan fee, paying his weekly wages, obviously no option to buy. That is something great for Arsenal because they will know that we are going to pay just £80 million and getting this player at the club. That's it. Then that means they can get the balance and bring in Mykhailo Mudryk. That means even the window of Arsenal has been made easy, according to me. It's made easy for Arsenal because there is a world striker, there is a world-class striker called Joao Felix, who is up for grabs at only £80 million, plus the amount of money they're going to be paying weekly. That means every month they'll be paying him £1 million times 6 months. Those are £6 million plus the 8. That is £14 million to Joao Felix. I think if I told you get in Joao Felix for £14 million for just 6 months to come in and save your season, I think that's better. Not so? And if I told he fits in like a glove, you obviously do what you did to Odegaard when he came and he played very well from Real Madrid, and then you went ahead to pay close to £30 million to sign him from Real Madrid. So I believe it's really something great for a team which goes by the names of Arsenal, and this is good news for them. But after Fabrizio Romano, Jacobs Ben came out and really told us the following on this deal. He told us that with Felix, I think there is a bit more in this from Arsenal's perspective. I don't think Arteta really likes the player. Arsenal need to understand what Felix's desire is. There is a whole of interest, and also what the price point is with Atleti. So for Jacobs Ben, he's talking of Arsenal need to understand the boy's desire. The boy's desire is to play in a team that doesn't play pragmatic football. I think that box is ticked. And obviously, I think Arsenal and Manchester United are the two teams that really tick the boxes that can really portray out or bring out the real talent of Joao Felix. They play good football. They build from the back. Obviously, he plays an inclusive game. That is Joao Felix. And I believe bringing him to Arsenal will be a very good boost. So, Jacobs pointed that there is a whole interest. There is a whole of interest. There is a whole lot of interest, and also what the price point is with Atleti. So the price point with Atleti is really not all that something important, because Atleti have now agreed that because they're really having him on a deal of close to how many years left? Is it 3.5 years left? Because when he goes and plays these 6 months at Arsenal, Manchester United will be left with 3 years on his contract, meaning that they can sell him highly. So what Atleti needs is they want this man to go out and function at a club for 6 months. If at all he does, then they will be putting him on the market, and they will be getting 100 million euros that they are really requesting for. But for now, no one is going to give them 100 million euros. That's it. Now, after that, Marca from Spain, obviously from Madrid, reporting a story. They are really confirming to us that Arsenal want Joao Felix on loan from Atletico Madrid and could enter a buy option in the deal. So, you see, Marca is coming in from Spain, and these are really close sources to the Madrid teams. So, they are telling us that Arsenal are interested in signing Joao Felix, and they could enter an option in the deal, a buy option in the deal. That shows you that Arsenal might be thinking about signing Joao Felix, because they know that if at all they don't put in an option to buy and he hits the ground running, he's going to get a lot of attraction from the other teams. That wouldn't have been a problem for Arsenal, but Joao Felix's next destination after hitting the ground running at Arsenal for the next 6 months won't be in his hands. It's in the hands of Atletico Madrid, because Atletico Madrid know how much they want. And what Atletico want is let this player play very well, and they call for what we call a bidding war between clubs. Bayern Munich wants a striker, Barcelona wants a striker, United want a striker, you might see PSG want a striker. Close to all the big giants are really looking for the striker. Even Chelsea, however much they've signed in for Fana, they've signed in Nkunku, they would love to have a Joao Felix with them if at all he really goes ahead and tears apart the Premier League. So, what Arsenal are afraid of now is, what if this player comes in through and really hits the ground running, of which for me I believe is going to hit the ground running, no question about it. That's the big question. Now, if it's the ground running, when Arsenal has not included an option to buy, do you know what that means? They won't be having an upper hand on signing the player, meaning that they would have braked the sweats for nothing. So I believe that's why Arsenal is really having another thought of really putting in an option to buy in the deal. But I believe they can get it done, because in the summer I believe Arsenal would have reached a level of spending 100 million euros on a player, because they'll be in the Champions League, meaning that they will be going to get in close to more 60 or 70 million pounds on their income. That will be great. And bringing in Joao Felix puts you in that position to go on and qualify for the Champions League because he comes in with goals and so much more. So that is coming in from Marca, a source from Madrid. So after that, let's go to a little bit of Mykhailo Mudryk. Mykhailo Mudryk is really a player that has been on the lips of many. Every day you expect a story of Mykhailo Mudryk, and today I'm going to do like more two stories about Mykhailo Mudryk because his news is really suffocating the internet and the entire news outlets. Now, Fabrizio Romano told us that on Mudryk transfer to Arsenal, the feeling of all the people in the industry is that Arsenal know how special Mudryk can become in the next years. So we have now settled the debate. The questions have been answered by Fabrizio Romano. Everyone was asking himself, why is Arsenal going in for a player who is rated at 100 million euros at the age of 21 when he's not proven at the world stage? However much he came in the Champions League and scored 3 goals with 4 assists, Mudryk is known, rated highly by very many other teams. That's why you see to it that teams like Brighton, Newcastle, Everton, Leeds are the ones in for him, and I think Arsenal is the only giant in for this player, and that really put a lot of questions on the ceiling of the player and his trajectory. But right now, Fabrice has told us that for Arsenal, they believe and know how special Mudryk is going to become in the next years because this guy is talented. He has a quick feet on him. I really like the way he plays the game of football. He is really one of those players that will make you think that playing football is easy, to go on and really buy those boots and don them onto the pitch and try out the game of football. But he's really immensely talented. That's it. That guy is immensely talented, and that's why Arsenal are really going for him, and they are making him a priority and trying to negotiate the price of 100 million euros down to see to it that they really fit into their budget they have for the right transfer window. After that, Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to confirm what I've just told you about the price, that at the moment he doesn't see Arsenal signing a player for 100 million euros in the position of a striker because Gabriel Jesus' injury is more serious than expected. I don't see Arsenal signing a player for 100 million euros in that position because Gabriel Jesus' injury is more serious than expected, but then in 2-3 months he'll be available. So what Fabrizio is telling us is that he doesn't see Arsenal signing a player like Mykhailo Mudryk at 100 million euros because they have to go in and get in a striker. The situation of Gabriel Jesus is really serious, and obviously he doesn't expect Arsenal to spend huge on a player like Mykhailo Mudryk. So let's wait and see what's going to happen after Fabrizio coming out and revealing to us how special Arsenal have taken this player to be. Then lastly, on the story on Mudryk, then Fabrizio has confirmed to us that Shakhtar insists for 100 million euros. Arsenal have a feeling that at the end of the story, Shakhtar could maybe accept 60 to 65 to find the right package to include maybe some add-ons. For sure, Mudryk remains one of the priorities for Arsenal. Fabrizio Romano via Give Me Sport. So the battle is in between Shakhtar and Arsenal. Can they accept the amount of money that Arsenal is really putting on the table? That's the huge deal. And I believe Mudryk should get a better agent to negotiate this deal. If it was George Mendes in this deal, trust me, it would have been done and dusted. You see how he has really simplified the move of Joao Felix. He sat down the board of Athletic and told them, we have close to 4 years or 3 years and a half left on the contract. Give us these 6 months on loan. We go on, play very well. They are going to give you a loan fee of 80 million pounds. A team will pay a lion's share. They will pay 100% of his weekly wages, and obviously you'll be okay, relieved, meaning that you're going to get 14 million pounds for the 6 months this guy is going to be away. Yet in his presidency, you're going to spend 6 million pounds on him, and there is no way you're going to get the 8 from him. The guy is unhappy. Why do you keep on the club? I believe Mudryk might be a very good player, and he might be worth 100 million euros according to Shakhtar, but in the world market right now, when you look at the players available at Arsenal, for Arsenal, Mudryk might not really be that player they think is worth 100 million euros. That's why Arsenal are really going in for 60 to 65 million euros. But I believe they can negotiate this deal down to it that they put add-ons that can really amount to close to 100 million euros. So I believe that is something that they should work on immediately and get this deal done. But Arsenal are really pushing hard because the player already showed his admiration to go on and join Arsenal. Now, Mikel Arteta has two central defenders that are really exciting, that have kept close to 7 clean sheets this season in the Premier League, and he has come out and really hailed them, or commended them in an interview with Sky Sports. That is Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. So he has told us that, first of all, I don't see this centre-back position as something individual. I think it's a partnership, and that partnership has to have some sort of chemistry between the two, and the qualities of those two have to complement each other. Obviously, when you look at the central defense partnership of Arsenal, these two are really complementing one another. They really know each other. They cover each other's footsteps. When Magalhaes is away and makes a mistake, Saliba is there for him. And if at all Saliba is exposed, Gabriel Magalhaes is there for him. And obviously, the central defense is all about the partnership, as Mikel Arteta is talking about. The minerals, the chemistry in between them is really immense, and I believe Arsenal are really getting everything right, because Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes playing for the very first time this season together. They've looked good. They've looked good. Even if you don't support Arsenal, you know that they really look good, and they are one of the best central defensive partnerships in the Premier League. And I believe today they are going to play a very important part in their win against West Ham. Remember, they are hosting West Ham at Emirates today. Then Arteta said from day one, Saliba and Gabriel clicked. Sometimes you cannot predict that when you are in the market, or when you have a player back from loan. We were lucky, to be fair, that clicked. What he's brought: physicality, game understanding, and a lot of composure. So building a partnership takes loads of time, guys. I remember the days Arsenal suffered when they really lost Kolo Toure. They never had Sol Campbell, because Kolo Toure and Sol Campbell had played very well and had formed a very good centre-back partnership together. Then they suffered a lot with the likes of Giroud, Senderos. They tried out that partnership, it failed. Not until Arsenal got in Vermaelen and Koscielny. I think that was one of the best central defense partnerships that really came in to the Arsenal side ever since they lost Kolo Toure and Sol Campbell. You get? So I think ever since then, Arsenal hadn't really gotten another central defense partnership that is really clicking and commending one another. That's it. So when you talk about the recent ones that had existed, Arsenal had David Luiz and who? Kolasinac. Was it Kolasinac? There's a certain guy who was playing the central defense of Arsenal, but all those central defense partnerships were really ill, and that's why the manager really decided to go on and sign Gabriel Magalhaes in the summer of 2020, and obviously he has followed him up with a loan returnee called William Saliba. And he's talking about the qualities of William Saliba, that he has brought physicality, obviously number one attribute to excel in the Premier League. Game understanding, obviously his game reading is out of this world, and a lot of composure. Guys, this guy, you see, that's why you see very many people comparing him to Rio Ferdinand. He really makes football look so easy. He's press resistant, even in the 18-yard box area, or the first third of his goal area. He really looks composed. He really looks like he's unbothered of what is going on. He takes his time. He finds out a right pass. That is Saliba. And he has helped Arsenal a lot playing from the back. That's it. So that's what Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to talk about his back four, his central defense partnership that really looks great, and obviously they are really complementing one another. So what are your thoughts on serious Joao Felix to Arsenal talks? Mudryk, very special signing for Arsenal. And lastly, what Mykhailo has gone ahead to go ahead and really comment about his central defense partnership of Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba. Thank you for watching again. First video of the day. More is yet to come onto this channel known as Rokani Media Football. May the mighty Lord bless you abundantly. Happy Boxing Day. I'm out.